going, everybody? My name is Dalton. Welcome back to Garage 99. In today's video, we are in a 2009 Nissan GTR. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a special one because this thing, it's got some stuff done to it. It's got some Nitto NTO5Rs on the back of it. It's beautiful. It's got a little like carbon fiber front lip to it. Stock wheels, kind of stock looking car. It's got a beautiful titanium exhaust and it sounds kind of burbly. I've never driven a GTR, so this is a first for me. I've always wanted to. I mean, it's a pretty bad car. I think a lot of people, if they don't know what it is, they look at it. It sounds nasty. Listen to that thing. Ooh, some blow-off valves. Yeah, while we're driving it here, I'll show you guys a little bit about this. Now, stock, these cars are 485 horsepower. I believe it came out around 2007, 2008. They did incrementally increase them since then. All the way up until now, they still make this car in a little bit of variations. I think they're coming out with the new model very soon, though. We are going to change everything to race. Oh, you know what? I think you have to press and hold it. Yep, there's race. Race suspension. And race traction, so traction control's off. I'm gonna try and keep using paddles to a minimum. So there's Monicatti right there. What up? This is a beautiful car. It makes about 650 horsepower and pretty quick car. I haven't really gotten to have too much fun with it yet. I have seen some people we want to try and avoid today, so I'm going to try and keep the fun having to a minimum. However, this car is already warmed up because we had to go get gas in it. So, a lot of turbo lag. Wow, she is quick. She makes all the right noises, that's for sure. It does have a nice little mile per gallon gauge. That means absolutely nothing. You got your digital gear indicator. Yeah, see, there's a boy in blue over there. We want to avoid him at all costs. We're going to be very careful with how we're driving today. We don't want to do anything silly now. So back in 2009, you did get this really cool cluster. I do believe there are some very interesting functions that I should probably find before this drive is over, because just like the R34 Skyline GTR, it shows you all your different gauges and everything. Oh, actually, I just found it. Look how cool that is. We have tons of other pages that are available on there. Let's go ahead and she's definitely quick. I'll give it that. I think the GTR has too much hype around it. I absolutely love this car, so I don't want anybody to think that that's a bad thing. I just think people think GTR or they think Toyota Supra and they think 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 horsepower. They think these crazy horsepower numbers. I took it out of comfort and I put it in race. That's race traction, race transmission and shifting, and race suspension. It's very rough. Now, when I usually come to this red light, I like to talk about the cabin noise in the back seat. So the back seat is probably just as useful, if not more useful, than a Mustang. I know that's crazy to say, but Mustangs are pretty useless, especially like Mustangs, Challengers, Camaros. This is probably just as useful, if not a little more, because it sits so far back and you have a lot of headroom. Drone in here is non-existent. It's a pretty quiet cabin, but it's a loud exhaust. She's a ripper. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put the windows down and give you guys what you want to hear. We got her in race trans. You know where we are. We're gonna go ahead and get another look at the interior. Woo! She's making all the right noises. And let's go! Pretty healthy car. I don't know, man, it's quick, but I just think the sound that it makes, there's something about, I mean, I'm used to driving a loud Corvette now, and the sound is different. It's not like a bad 6-cylinder, but I don't know. It sounds really cool though. It sounds really cool. It is a 6-speed automatic transmission, dual clutch, one of the first ones of its kind. It's very, very before its time. I mean, this car is basically the same as it came out in 2008, and it's just very fast shifting. It's got a lot of power. We're gonna go ahead and get over because we know there are some people around here who don't want us to have any fun. It's a really cool car. I think for the money in the price range. I think this is like in the 60s. You can't really touch a lot of other cars for this price. This is definitely an attention grabber. Absolutely an attention grabber. It's pretty cool car. I don't know if it's living up to the hype though. I want to say that it is. I mean, these cars, back in the day, it was a 0 to 60 in 3-second car. That is what it was benchmarked at. It was the stupidest, fastest car at the time. Had launch control, had dual clutch. It was a 6-cylinder twin turbo. It had all-wheel drive, Motor Trend's world's greatest drag race. It was like the first champion, the second champion. It just kept beating everybody, and it was known as Godzilla. It reigned supreme over supercars, and that is how people were like, oh, maybe it is a supercar. It was just the greatest car ever made, and maybe it's just that I'm getting used to these cars. I don't know. It is a beautiful car. It's very fast, very cool. Love every bit of it, honestly. You got these freaking awesome seats that are just more than comfortable. What kind of boost is it making? Let's see if I do that again. It's about 20 pounds of boost. Oh, there's a state trooper over there now. Well, I guess we're not going to get any exhaust clips because he's sitting over there probably writing somebody a ticket. Man, they're just taking away all the fun. Let's go ahead and pull her in the park and talk a little bit more about her. All right, so this is the 2009 Nissan GTR, and I mean, if that is not the most beautiful side profile, then I don't know what is. Like I was saying before, you got these crazy meaty Nitto NT05 315 3520s in the back. Some Azenas, what are these, Aturos? 275 4020s in the front. Big Brembo drilled rotors, 4-piston in the back, 6-piston front. Got this beautiful carbon fiber duckbill spoiler that really adds a nice flair to the back. This is kind of my favorite style of GTR, is with the low profile, like, actually Paul Walker kind of had something similar to this where he had like the low profile duckbill spoiler at the back. Huge exhaust. Sounds really nice. It's not too droney. That's pretty much it as far as outside goes. It's got the nice little like body kit on the bottom. I got the hood popped right now. The 2 little inlets, I believe those are for the intakes. And then you've got your Nissan VR38 engine. It actually looks like stock blow-off valves. You got aftermarket intakes, tune, and an exhaust. So your basic bolt-on kit for this car. Nothing too crazy outside of that. I mean, a GTR is a GTR. Everybody knows them. Everybody loves them. They're good-looking cars. They're beautiful and appealing and simple from every angle. I don't think this style, it'll ever date itself. This car is 12 years old now, and the body style is 14 years old. And it does not look like a 14-year-old car. It looks like a modern, beautiful, fun-to-use car. You got your GTR badging on the side with the functional fender vents. And this is really a really cool thing too, how you open the door handle. It's very exotic. And you get in, you got your GTR door sills. As far as supercars go, I feel like this is a very regular supercar. But going back into the function of all the different gauges, this is probably the most optimal one you would want to use. It shows you your boost, your engine oil temperature, your engine oil pressure, and then you can switch them. You got all the different ones. This is your G meter. Other than that, you do have these toggle switches. So like, that's normal, that's normal. So you can either turn traction control off, which that's what that is, or you can put it into race mode where it's very limited, but it'll still keep you where you're making optimal times on the track. And then you can do like comfort for suspension, or you can do race. Everything to go off is race, and it's all like press and hold. Transmission and race. You also have snow trans settings, which is pretty cool. I don't think many people drive this in the snow. However, you could if you wanted to. There's also Bose surround sound. You do have paddle shifters. This is one of the first cars that was able to optimally use paddle shifters. You've got all your button controls and your nice GTR badging in the center of it. The steering wheel is not very big. It's actually like the perfect size. It's got a nice 9-3 grip on both sides. Oh my God. You can actually operate the seat from the driver's side. I've never seen that before. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm very excited I got to drive this car. I don't know. I guess I was expecting something a little more, but at the same time, this is a pretty simplified car, and it's made by Nissan. I mean, car companies who make supercars, their base roots are regular commuter cars. So the fact that this car isn't above the top, balls to the walls, it makes it more of a daily driver car. You could drive this every day to and from work and really truly enjoy it. So I think that's one thing that's good to take from this whole experience of driving this, because I've always wanted to drive one. It's one of my favorite cars, it still is. I've always wanted to own one. It's a pretty normal car, and it's still a very fun car. Anybody can drive it too. My wife hates the fact that she can't drive my Vette, and this one is very drivable. So I think that is gonna do it for today's video, guys. Huge shout out to Monicatti Auto Sales for letting us borrow this vehicle. We're gonna have a ton of other vehicles we're driving today, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you can, and keep a lookout for more videos just like this one. Peace out, and keep turning those gears.